Hi, Mark Jamin here, Medical Director for the Haywood County Health Department, and let's talk about this pandemic. Today, in the final segment in the Reopening Survival Guide, let's summarize the key concepts so you have a framework to make your choice about where to go, when to go, and what precautions you will take. So, number one, avoid the disease. The first consideration here is your underlying health. If you are older, especially older than 80, if you have lung or heart conditions, high blood pressure, diabetes, or issues that compromise your immune system, be extra careful about your choices. And if you live with someone who has these issues, you should be super careful too about where you go and the precautions you will take. Not so much for yourself, but for them. Second consideration is, can you keep your distance? It's about the space you're going to walk into. The guideline is 6 feet and limiting the contact to less than 15 minutes. If you can't keep your distance, or people there are not keeping their distance, think twice about whether you want to go there. Any space where people are close together is super risky, much more so than quickly or casually walking by someone on the street, for instance. And in closed spaces, even the 6 feet may not be enough. And there's more to consider. Is it a loud environment? Are people talking loudly? Or is there singing? All these increase the risk because virus from an infected person gets spread further, even if they don't know they're infected. Third consideration is, what are others doing to protect you? Is staff hand washing frequently, disinfecting jointly used surfaces? Does that place make it easy for you to know what precautions they are taking? We have shared the CCC contract to contain COVID, a check sheet that shows places that they are a safe place. Look for that. Fourth consideration are masks. Are people there wearing masks? Do you plan to wear one? Now, whatever you think about masks, and there are varying notions about how much they help, masks do reduce the risk. They don't replace other measures you should take, but they add to them. And they do so by providing an extra degree of protection. It's a considerate thing to do for others around you. And remember, getting exposed does not equal infection. Enough virus must also get inside you through hand-to-face contact or breathing it in, and then it must overwhelm your immune system. Break the chain of transmission anywhere along this path, and you avoid getting sick. Hand washing frequently and properly, masks, being careful where you go, these decrease the viral load you might be exposed to. They are your best bets to avoid getting sick and avoid getting someone else sick, if you turn out to be an asymptomatic carrier, and any of us may very well be. So the places of business that we go should be helping us to do a better job in all of these regards, for all of us. So that's about avoiding the illness. What about if you get it? If you are exposed, are you prepared to quarantine if you have no symptoms or isolate yourself if you are sick? This is so you don't spread this any further. And by the way, that is really the key to keeping COVID under control in the community. Do you know how to effectively isolate or quarantine? Do you live in a place where you can effectively do this? And if not, you may want to be extra careful about where you go and how you might get exposed. And especially if there's someone else you live with who is in a high-risk category. And let me ask you this. Are you expecting a solution to COVID? Something that will end ever having to worry about this forever? If so, I'm afraid this mindset will hold you back. There is no one-step fix here, and there likely won't be, even with a vaccine, or with improved ways to treat those who are sick. Surely those will make it better, but they don't make this go away. This is a dilemma, a never-ending balancing act, and we're in for a long slog here. The challenge is finding the best way you can live with the risk while adapting to your life, and no one knows the right approach. There are many communities and states in the middle of a grand experiment, and as with any experiment, it may confirm the approach, or it may not work out. And if current reopening methods don't work out as hoped, each of us must be prepared to pause, back up, and lock down again to get control for what is more than likely going to be rolling waves of illness. And that leads to the last key consideration. No one knows how this is going to play out. The possibilities are all over the board. Anyone you see or hear or read on social media confidently predicting the future is selling snake oil. The better approach when there is so much uncertainty is to not get too hung up on all the what ifs. That's paralyzing. The future as we know it will remain more unclear than we can know. Instead, focus your energy on what you need to do and can do today, right now. Expect things to change. Expect recommendations to change as we learn more. Expect a better understanding of how to dance gracefully through all this. Expect to adapt and change. We have all demonstrated an incredible ability to do just that in a short time. And this is going to serve us well going forward. So follow the 3 W's, show an IQ, practice the golden rule of gathering. Look for ways to make your life better than it was, because the opportunity is here. So be well and be careful, especially right now.